Afternoon guys, my name's Pete Rainford, you're watching Rainford's Brew Lab. Today I'm going to make a cherry melomel. These are the ingredients we need. Got 400 grams of cherries, Lalvin D47 yeast, 454 grams of clear honey and 1 litre of just cheap Aldi apple juice. I'm going to be using one of my 2 litre fermenters for this, and airlock of course. That should be plenty big enough to get all this in and leave a bit of headspace for fermentation. I'm aiming for around 15%, so good strength. It's going to be very fruit forward. Lovely cherries here and the honey and the apple. It gives it sort of like a cross between a wine and a mead. It's technically called a melomel, fruit melomel. Okay guys, first thing we've got to do is tackle these cherries. They need pitting, which I've never done before. So let's make some room. Okay guys, the quickest way to do this is to lay out a few cherries on there and then get another chopping board and crush them, and then just flick the stones out, store them to one side. We'll put the good stuff in there. I love cherries. Okay, I'll try 4. Let's see how we go with 4. Take these stems off actually. And we need to keep, I'm going to say 6 of these stones. I'll show you why in a bit. I'll explain. Okay, 4. Big chopping board, small chopping board. Homemade, by me, in here. Okay, if it spatters toward the camera, that's fair enough. Okay, they crushed. Flip the stones out, they say. There we go, there's one. Get your stones out, put all the good stuff in there. You learn it all here, don't you guys? May as well cut these open one by one at this rate. Okay guys, we've got our cherries on our cherry stones and stems here. Right, it's time to get these bad boys juiced. Okay, in we go. Okay guys, we are done. And for our efforts we got, what did we get? 200 milliliters. It doesn't look like a lot, does it? But it will be enough to flavour our beautiful melomel that we're going to make. Okay, first off guys, let's get this honey tackled. Okay, let's get our honey in. Now there's at least a spoonful in there, so I'm going to pour some apple juice in there and then shake the hell out of it to get that last tiny bit. Oh. So just pour some apple juice in there, literally just 50-100 milliliters. Put the top on and shake it. And this will also give us some great oxygen going in our brew in a moment. If you want to make this really easy guys, heat your apple juice up. It will mix in a lot easier. Okay, that's good. Here we go. I'm just going to pour, I don't know, maybe a couple 100 mils of apple juice in here. Put the lid on and then give this a good shake. It's got a little airlock point there, so you've got to put your thumb over that, make sure this doesn't go everywhere. And that's already mixing in quite easily. Okay, let's get a bit more. Let's go for all of it. So that's going to work out quite well, guys, with our 200 millilitres of cherry juice going in a second. Fresh cherry juice, I might add. Let's give that another shake. We're putting oxygen in here, guys, to help the yeast form their colony early on, multiply well, do their thing. They've got to do their thing. Let's have a look. Yeah, that honey's mixed in nicely. Okay. Honey and apples. Okay, guys, let's get some of our lovely fresh cherry juice in, eh? Look at this. I'm going to turn this into a cocktail. Plop. Okay guys, I've got half a lemon here that I'm going to squeeze the juice off and add to this. Why, you might ask? Because it's left over from a previous brew and I don't want to waste it. A little bit of zingy lemon in our melomel, a little bit of acid for our yeast is the technical explanation. But yeah, the real explanation is I don't want to waste half a lemon. I have to wash my hands again though. If you're wondering what's in that big tray there, guys, it is it's not hand sanitizer at all. It is it's baby sanitizer, because that is, or baby sterilizer, should I say. Because when I run out of Star San or Chem San that I use, that's the next best thing, and it's easy to get in the shops. Okay guys, have we forgotten anything other than the yeast? We haven't. We haven't taken a reading, which I'm going to do in a second, but first, say goodbye to that lovely layer. Now, I was always prepared to go and grab another carton of apple juice to top this up, but I'm not going to. That's fine. That is fine. Okay, we need half a teaspoon of our yeast, Lalvin D47. I've got one open, so I'm going to use that. If I can get it open again, because I seal them really well. And I would say for what's left in there, might just be over a quarter teaspoon. I'm gonna add all of that. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to put the top on, guys, and give that a tiny swirl. There's a lot of froth there. Just to swirl that yeast in, let it hydrate a bit easier. Did you take a reading, Peter? Did you take a reading? I'm always so eager to put the yeast in. You just need to let the yeast go and do their jobs. Don't delay them. Okay, swirl it a bit more now that I've got to take a reading. This will give us a good indication on whether we get to our target ABV. Okay, that's hovering around 1.124. That's a sugary brew. We should get up to our target ABV quite easily there. 1.124. Okay guys, I am going to pour that back in because this was sanitized. On the thread. And pop that open, and where's our airlock? Bit of sterilizer fluid in there. Airlock, on we go. Now this is going to ferment quite hot, for me at least, guys, because I've got a little experiment going on over there that requires the heating mat to be a little bit above my usual 18 to 22 degrees, so to speak. But for you at home, if you're using a heating mat, 20 degrees is great. If not, try and keep it in your house, where usually we're around this sort of room temperature anyway, which these yeast ferment at quite well. Okay guys, so about 7 to 10 days I'm hoping for this. Lalvin D47 isn't very quick. It's not a sprinter. It's a marathon runner, but it does produce very good results. So wouldn't surprise me if you don't see me for 2 weeks. It'll be the blink of an eye, obviously, for you, but for me, it'll be 2 weeks. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this so far. See you soon. Afternoon guys, we have our Cherry Melomel here. We started this on the 16th of the 3rd and today is 29th, so it's had almost 2 weeks, just a day shy of 2 weeks. I have added some bentonite to this a couple of days ago off camera and it has started to clear, but it has not cleared as yet. It is quite dark. We get that in a glass, it may well be a little bit clearer. But yeah, it's time to get it out of there into a clean vessel, maybe some bottles, and I want to get a reading, see if we've got down to near dry. I wouldn't mind a little bit of sweetness in this really, so let's have a look. Opening gravity 1.124, so quite high. Right, I just love these little fermenters. Great for experimental batches. Always going to be a good colour this was, wasn't it? Look at that, rosé. 1.008, I'm going to call that up. 1.008. Okay, 1.008, decisions time. That should have a little bit of sweet, and I'm wondering, I want to pull this back, but I don't want to disturb. There it goes, I'm disturbing it. Okay guys, I am going to stop fermentation there at 1.008 because I think that might just have that nice little bit of sweetness left. Without tasting it, it's a difficult one. I suppose I could just taste it really, couldn't I? No, I'm going to take a leap of faith and I'm going to put that in another fermenter. I'm going to add a little bit more bentonite to get it cleared quicker. And then I'm going to get it in the fridge for a couple of days because I need this for a video next week. So yes, I'm rushing it a little bit, but I'm also thinking that sweetness will be nice rather than fermenting it all the way to dry. So let's get it in a clean vessel for starters. Okay guys, I've just sanitized that really quickly now. Rather than siphoning this, I'm just going to pour it in. I'm just going to be very careful, or as careful as it can be. Okay, put all that yeast there. Always a clean one. Does smell good. That does smell good. Okay, lid on for now. Okay guys, I'm going to stabilize our brew, which essentially means stopping the yeast from multiplying and stopping the brew from oxidizing, etc. Now to do that we use two chemicals, potassium sorbate and sodium metabisulfate. Now that is essentially Camden tablets in a powder form. For 2 litres we need a 1/16 of a teaspoon, which is this little beastie here. So let's add that first. Don't inhale this by the way guys, you should really wear a mask or just make sure you don't inhale the dust. For our little 2 litre brew here, of which there's slightly less than 2 litres, so I'm not going to put a level 1/16 in, I'm just going to, where are we? Just knock a little bit out. There we go, 2 litres, perfect. One, swirl that around, don't want it clumping up. Seal that. And potassium sorbate. So sodium metabisulfate kills off bacteria and prevents oxidization. So we've added 1/16 of a teaspoon to that, just a tiny little bit less because we're just under 2 litres. Now potassium sorbate is kind of like the security guards of brewing. This stuff stops the yeast from multiplying. So it's primarily used when you want to back sweet. Now I'm adding this to kill this off because I don't want any more of this sugar to ferment. I want it to stay there so that we've got some sweetness from the sugar that we've already added and then we don't need to back sweet. However, when I taste it, if it's not sweet enough, if it's too dry, then I'll add some erythritol up there on the shelf, which is a non-fermentable. For 2 litres we need around a 1/4 teaspoon of this. Terrible bang. I need to get that in a jar or something, that's terrible. Right, 1/4 teaspoon for 2 litres, which is going to be that. Again, I won't quite put a level one in, I'll just knock a bit out. That's perfect. Tell you what, we'll give it a stir with the spoon now. This will also help to degas our brew a little bit if there's any CO2 in there. Does smell good. Okay, I'm going to steal the airlock off our original vessel. There shouldn't be any fermentation taking place in there now because we've added these chemicals. Okay, I'm going to put that in our fridge to cold crash for a couple of days. Hopefully it will clear a bit better. If it hasn't cleared very well after the first night, I'm going to add some more bentonite, but I'll do that off camera because that's boring. You've seen me do it time and time again. You know the score. Right guys, see you in a couple of days. Hopefully we can have a taste of this. Smells lovely, looks lovely. I'm sure it'll clear up and I can get a taste. I really want to taste it. Right, see you in a couple of days guys. Afternoon guys, we've got our Cherry Melomel here. Right, time for a taste. Okay, our opening gravity for this was 1.124 guys, and our final gravity was 1.008. I'll throw that up on the screen what ABV it is, somewhere down here. And yeah, let's get a taste. It's taken a long time to clear, but we finally got there. It literally cleared like, I don't know, maybe half an inch a day, so it's taken a good few days to completely clear. So yeah, let's get a taste. I'm just going to pour it, oh my god, straight out of this fermentation jar, because this was the one we racked it off into. Smells good. Oh, this won't be an easy pour. Now, I'm not going to have too much because I know this is going to be fairly strong. Right, today's the 5th of April, guys, so this has had a good 3 weeks. It's lovely and clear. See that? Beautiful and clear. Lovely colour as well, of course. I can smell cherries. Yeah, just the cherries, really. Okay, I'm going in, guys. Cheers. Oh, that's lovely and sweet. I'm not going to need to back sweeten this. That's because it's got that little bit of sweetness there, because we stopped the ferment before it fermented to dry. That cherry really pops. Oh, strong as well. I can feel that. Lovely and warming. Oh, a bit more please. That is beautiful. Oh, that's very nice, guys. Yeah, I'll be making that one again. Wow, very strong. It's rather potent, but then that's what we do here at the Brew Lab, isn't it? Well, I couldn't drink much of that, guys, purely because of the sweetness. That'd be really nice after a meal. Not so much during it, you know, as a dessert. Wine, mead, melomel. I mean, to me this tastes like mead, but that is very nice, especially just as an odd glass here and there. I couldn't drink, you know, I couldn't go and sit out in the sun and drink that over a few hours or whatever the case may be, because it's just too sweet for me. It is beautiful. Coats the mouth beautifully as well, you know, quite thick. Very, very good. Worth waiting for. It's been about 3 weeks, like I say. So as usual, guys, if you've liked the video, please like and subscribe. There'll be a link to the lab sheet down in the description for this, of course. Highly recommend making it. That is beautiful. It tastes so good. It really does. Anyway, guys, cheers, and I'll see you in the next video.